Hello, dear students, and welcome. This is English language lesson for the second grade of secondary school. Today's topic is what to know before you travel. My name is Rejhana, and I will be your teacher today. Today, you will define what information are important before you set off for a trip, and you will compare different information on internet websites of tourist boards. As always, you need a pen and a notebook, a device with internet connection, and a QR code reader. The first thing you need to do is to define and decide where you'd like to go on holiday and why. Would you like to relax or go sightseeing, enjoy the nature, or visit museums? Depending on your destination, there are different things you need to be familiar with before you start your holiday. These information help you plan your holiday and have a great time while you are there. Here are some areas you should find out more about before you start your trip. There is transport, money, food, weather, attractions, general information. What do you think is the most important? There is a link bit.ly before traveling and a QR code. And when you type in this link, you'll reach this wheel. In this wheel, there are different topics. You need to spin the wheel and decide for each topic how important it is for you. You have 4 options, so try to figure out how important each of these is for you personally, depending on the destination and your interests. What would you like to know more about? And what do you think is important regardless of where you travel? So you have general information, money, nightlife, and so on. Try to decide for each of these their importance. So before you travel, you need to find some information. And where would you look for that information? There are a few options. First, there is an online official tourist board website. Then there are travel videos, travel blogs or forums or travel groups or Insta bloggers. And last is travel brochures. Today, we will get to know a website of a tourist board. Here is a link, www.visitlondon.com, and a QR code that you can scan. It will take you to this website of a London tourist board. When you open this website, you have 3 tasks. One is to scroll down and read the titles of different sections, and you will have 1 minute to do that. Then you need to close the website and then list as many sections as you can remember again in 1 minute. Use your notebook and your pen, and you will have a timer set to 60 seconds for each task. So first go to the website visitlondon.com, and when you are ready, let's go. It's your time to visit the site. Go. 10 more seconds. And stop. Now, close your website, take your notebook, and try to write down all sections you can recall. Go. Ten seconds. And stop writing. Now, let's see how you did. How many have you got? You can put a tick next to each one that you have found and written down. There are tickets and offers, top 10 attractions, London highlights, plan ahead, things to do, day trips, public holidays, accommodation, travel information, first time visitor, most popular, sightseeing tours, free travel maps, hotels in London, and useful information. I hope you did just fine. After we have seen what an official tourist board website contains, we will deal with travel videos and see an example. You can find a lot of useful videos on YouTube depending on your interest. And what I have chosen today is a video about 10 tips before you travel. So things to know when you are preparing for the trip, some useful information and advice. Here are some words or phrases you'll hear in the video. There are 5 of them. I'll give you an explanation for each, and your task is to guess which of these it is. It's not difficult, let's try. A useful piece of information. Which one is it? It's a tip. Then there is a period between high and low season. Of course, it's shoulder season. So between peak season and off-peak season. Next is giving money to someone who provided a service, especially in a restaurant. It's tipping. Next is another name for a district. It's borough. And the last one, of course, is a misnomer. It's a name incorrectly applied for something. Well done. Before we watch the video, I'd like you to make some predictions. What do you think the person will talk about? I told you earlier, the topic is 10 tips before visiting. So write down the numbers of the things you believe will be mentioned there. There is accommodation, food, transport in London, attractions, shopping, money, how to get to London, tips from the locals, when to travel, what not to eat, internet access, and useful phrases. So write the numbers of these sections you think will be mentioned in the video. There are 7 of them. Now let's watch. Here is the link bit.ly tips before and the QR code you can scan and watch the video. I'll see you afterwards. I hope you liked the video. Let's see if you made the right guesses about the things he will talk about. So, the things that he mentioned were food, number 2, transport in London, shopping, money, how to get to London, when to travel, and useful phrases. How many did you get? And here are all 10 areas he mentioned. So, first he talked about some general information about population and different boroughs. Then he gave advice on when to travel, when is the best and when is the worst time to travel. Then he talked about money, the currency exchange rate, ATMs, and taxes. The next thing was getting into London. He talked about airports and trains to the city centre. Then he talked about getting around, about public transportation, tickets, fares, taxis, and useful apps. Next was the food, local food, and cheap eats, so where to eat on a budget. Then he talked about tipping, when and how much to tip when you are in a restaurant. Then he mentioned language and some useful phrases to use when in London. About shopping, where the best shopping areas are and opening hours, and museums and tickets for the museums. What do you think is missing in his video? Is there something you would add? From a traveler's point of view, what else would you like to know? Here are some ideas. For example, accommodation, some tips on where to stay. Souvenirs, what the symbols of a country or a city are. Nightlife, where to go out. Attractions, what to visit. He didn't mention any of these. Tips from the locals, some insider info from the people who live there. And off the beaten track, some information about places where not many people go. Those places are usually not in these travel brochures, but are some also insider tips from the locals. Here is a link, bit.ly llplanet and a QR code to a short video about London with some questions during the video. The video will stop and a question will appear and you should answer this question. It looks like this. So please stop this lesson, follow the link and try to do this task. When the video stops, a question appears and it looks like this. Good luck! Now your task is to find an online website of a tourist board near you. It can be your town, city, or your county. You should visit it and compare it to the one of London. And you should make notes or suggestions on what is done properly, what could be improved, and what is missing. So compare the website of the London Tourist Board and the tourist board near you. And we have come to the end of today's lesson. How did you like it? There are 3 photos portraying the way you are feeling right now. So, how do you feel? The first one says, "It was great and I'm happy." The second one, "It was, okay, still a bit confused there." And the third one, "Nope, didn't do anything for me." So, choose the corresponding feeling and copy it into your notebooks. And this is all for today's lesson. I hope you have enjoyed it. Until next time, bye bye.